Good morning. Welcome back to the channel. You'll be pleased to see, for those that subscribe for the climbing, that I am back in the climbing gym, doing what my channel suggests, which is a bit of climbing. It's been, I think, 3 weeks now since I climbed properly with 2 hands, and about a week and a half since I climbed last with 1 hand. So last week and a half I've not done any finger strength, so I'm going to take it very steady today. I did a bit of fingerboarding last night just to warm back into it, but yeah, it did feel quite a lot weaker than I remember, obviously before I stopped climbing. But yeah, the finger, I don't think it's fully recovered. It's still a little bit swollen and a bit painful. I'm going to tape it up again, but I don't know how much more resting it's going to change. For the last week and a half of resting it, it's not really improved. So yeah, I'm seeing a specialist in a week, and hopefully I'll get an update from them about that. But yeah, today I'm just going to tape up the finger, do some light climbing, get back into it. It's going to be 2 hands, none of that crazy 1-hand stuff anymore. But yeah, it's just good to be back in the gym, doing some climbing. There's quite a few new sets since I last was here that I'm just looking at now. But yeah, quite a lot for me to attack in here because I did most of just 1-handed routes. So there's quite a few routes that I can do with 2 hands. Looking forward to getting back stuck into it. I'm just enjoying my coffee for now. But yeah, I'm going to get into it in a minute. And yeah, go back on the walls, do some 2-handed stuff, see how hard we can climb, see how poor the technique is after a week and a half of not doing it. Yeah, maybe we'll surprise ourselves, we'll see. But yeah, I'm probably just going to do more static stuff, take it steady, and an easy session. But sometimes I lose control of doing that and end up trying to push myself quite a lot. So we'll see how we go today. Hope you enjoy it. Okay, just take the finger up. Just going to jump in some really easy climbs. See how we're feeling today, how clumsy we are. Not expecting much from this session. It's been a long time, like I say, about a week and a half. And certainly for me anyway, that's long enough to lose my rhythm and my flow and my precision. So we'll see if that is the case today or not. Just going to start out on this V0, really easy, really light. Try to do it very statically, get the footwork, get the movement, get the accuracy back. And yeah, we'll just see how it goes. Pretty good start, quite happy with that. Obviously it's an easy route. But yeah, it was quite crimpy for a V0 really. The holds are a bit smaller than they look, they're not really massive jugs. And yeah, already my fingers and my forearms feel a little bit sore, so I think it's going to take a while to build back up to where we were. But yeah, just do a few more climbs, warm up a bit more, hopefully we'll get back into it after that. Okay, I feel quite good actually today. My footwork I feel has been okay. Very precise and very quiet when I'm placing my feet, and they've been quite accurate. So yeah, pretty happy with how they've gone. So I'm going to move on to something a bit more difficult now. We'll try this white V3 behind me. It should be quite straightforward. Coming into this move into here, and then up through the rest of the holds. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Pretty good, quite happy with that. Yeah, I didn't get too tangled up with my body. It was a little bit, probably not as it was set. Didn't really read it really, which is what I always tend to do on these lower grade climbs. which is why it got a bit messy towards the end. There's quite a few holds. It's always difficult to know which ones you're going to use from the ground. But yeah, pretty happy with that, to be honest. Okay, I'm going to move on to something a bit more challenging again. There's this orange V5 behind me. Starts with 2 hands, one here, one here. It's quite a cool move at the start. Getting your left foot on this, palming down with the right hand over here, and coming over with the left to this hold. And you kind of readjust, get the feet up to here, and then do another bit of a mantle up to the last hold. So I've just seen one of my mates in the gym do it. Made it look quite easy, so we'll see how I can go on this one. There we go. Probably quite a good job that I saw my mate do it, because that last move is actually quite tricky to figure out how to mantle up here. Yeah, that was a cool route. Enjoyed that. Wasn't too taxing on the fingers. It was more about body positioning, getting the right weight through your feet, getting your hips in the right place. So yeah, fun route that. Enjoyed it. Okay, just going to move on to a V6 slab now. It looks quite cool. I've seen some guys trying it already. Just starts with one hand on this and one hand on this over here. Foot down here. You're going to move yourself over to the left and get up onto this hold. You've not really got any hands until you get up to here, and then it comes back across to the right using those start holds as feet then, and comes over to the end and finishes up there. So now the move standing up here and getting across, the guys I've seen try it have been doing that statically. I think I would suit it better doing it more dynamically. I'll find that when I get on the wall, but that's what I think is sort of the best way for me to try it anyway. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, I tried to do that in a flexible way, which was silly because I'm not flexible. So I'm going to do it differently. I'm going to get my hand to that hold first, at the top left side of it, and then press with my shoulders and then get my left foot up onto the hold afterwards is the plan. And then adjust my feet, get a bit higher up, and then push up to these holds dynamically. That's the plan. So see how we get on. Oh, I managed to figure it out in the end. Yeah, it was a more dynamic move for me. I found that a bit easier. But yeah, I had to get my left foot up a bit higher to push. And then, thankfully the foot's quite a long way out, so I didn't get the dead point perfect, but I managed to get in at the right sort of distance so I could catch and not fall out. And then it was quite tricky towards the end. It's quite slopey, these holds. And standing on the volume is not my cup of tea. But yeah, managed to be quite calm on that, trust the feet, keep the tension, and went up nicely to the last. So yeah, pretty happy with that.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, I'm going to move on to this orange V4 now. Starts with one hand here and one here on this undercling. Not much to hold on to on this. It's kind of a little groove through the hole, but not a lot. So my footwork's going to be really key. Get a lot of tension, push down really hard through the feet to hold myself in place. And then it looks like I come into the right hand, up to a left hand crimp. And then that hold looks okay. I think there's a couple of different angles you can hold it on. Have to match that and then come out with the right, get the feet up and up to the end. So it looks okay. We'll just see how it goes. Wow, harder than it looks. It felt harder than a V4. Didn't really read where to hold that hold particularly well. Got a bit stuck on it. Ended up trying to change my hand on that. And the feet are a little bit awkward relative to the kind of second, third, last holds to get to the last as well. So yeah, quite a tough route. Don't know what the intended way of doing that is. Maybe quite a high heel on this for the end. But yeah, managed to just go a bit more dynamically as usual. And stick it from there, so fun on that. Okay, I'm going to move on to an interesting looking V5 now. Starts with one hand down here on the volume and one hand on this hole. Gives a bit of a slopey crimp, and there's quite a few of those on the route. Up here, there's feet on the bottom. It's quite a spanny first move. Coming across to this, which is pretty small as you can see. And a lot of side pulling holds with only this foothold down here before going up to the last hold up there. So looks like quite a technical route, quite challenging. I actually can't really read how to start it and which hand to put where. I'm just going to try and figure that out when I get on the wall. Yeah, we'll give it a go, see if we can send it. Surprised myself a bit on that one. Wasn't really sure how it was meant to be done, but it just felt quite natural when I did it instinctively, getting up there. Yeah, I noticed there was no real feet on this side. Obviously it's quite side pulling, so decided to come into this, pull with the left and place the left foot on top and then just generate it from the top. Quite a big move. But yeah, I'm feeling surprisingly good today. I really didn't expect to climb this well. Really happy with how I'm climbing, so yeah. Surprising myself. Okay, I'm going to move on to another V5 now, just next to it. It's a blue one. Quite crimpy, which is normally my style, but my finger is not really fully there. So from what it looks like, I think I can use my feet quite a lot to stop the finger being used too hard. This is the route. It starts with two hands on these. So I've probably left on here, right on here. That's what I'm looking at. Feet are down here. They're all pretty small, not loads to grip onto. This one's quite slopey as well. And then yeah, you come up to a hand here and here. You can utilise this volume as well. And there's some feet that are quite a long way to the left relative to the last ones, up to here. And then it's a very small crimps going up to the top hold just by the orange. So yeah, I'm going to try this one and see how it goes. If it is too much that I'm putting through my finger, I will probably stop. But I'm going to try and do this, get as much weight from my feet as I can. I think that's possible on the route. And yeah, just see how we get on. Oh, cool. Probably pulled a bit harder than I'd have liked to coming up to this section, which is kind of unsurprising. But all in all, I'm really happy that I said that. I got my foot up too high, my right foot was too low. At one stage, I had to bring my foot back down, get the right foot up first, because I'm just not flexible enough to get in that position and pull from that. But yeah, I want to get the foot up as well, managed to navigate it. And I was quite patient. Normally I kind of rush these things and just kind of dyno when I can't figure it out straight away. Whereas today, quite calm, feeling good. Just really took my time, repositioned my body on the wall, and just got in a much better position to go more statically. And yeah, managed to flash it in the end, so really happy with that. Okay, I'm going to move on to what's probably going to be the last route I do. It's my first session back in a week and a half, like I've said, so I don't want to overdo it today. I want to really gradually build my progression back up, particularly for the finger, make sure I don't overwork that too soon, because it's been a week and a half since I've done anything with my fingers climbing wise. So yeah, I want to make sure I don't injure myself. So I'm going to probably just do this cave. It's a V3 white, starting in here. 2 hands on these. Looks like quite a good jug. And yeah, pretty good jogs all the way, to be honest with you. Looking at some of these holds all the way up. There's a little foot chip, or a few feet, sorry, down here on the volume. And then a little crimp, another hold, and then up to the last hold. So I think this is going to be the last route I do today. I've done quite a few. It's good to get back into it. I'm happy with what I've done. I just don't want to overdo it. I want to climb most days, make sure that I don't overwork the fingers today and get them too fatigued for tomorrow. I don't want to get injured. So yes, going to jump into this one and see how it goes. Good fun route to end on that one. Not sure what a couple of the holes are for. I'm going to reuse them, like this one and the third last as well. Don't know what they were there for. Felt a bit easier to just go more dynamically, a little bit further. But yeah, fun route that. I really enjoyed that. Good one to end the video on. So that is it for today. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you're glad that I'm back climbing again. Certainly good fun for me to be back again. Back with 2 hands. Like I say, I'm taking it easy this next week or so. I want to make sure this recovers properly so I can climb hard and not get injured, because there's nothing worse than being injured, as I've experienced the last months. So yeah, it's great to be back. Hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed it. Really helps me out loads. But most importantly, as you know, make sure you grab life by the plums, and I'll see you in the next one.